Shalom, shalom. Kol halalim Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahweh Shai. Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahweh Shai. Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahweh Shai. Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom to the prophets of that body. And shalom to the 144,000. May the spirit of endurance be upon you. And I know a lot of you are feeling tired and drained, where everything feels like a chore. Push yourself, okay? Push yourself, push yourself, push yourself, And need that endurance. You got to get up, you got to get it done, all right? Stick with your righteous routines. Anyway, and by the way, fair use, right? I'm not making no money out of this. I'm just going to emphasize or focus on something specific. All right. Oh, Esau's bullshit that he spread all over the world has, obviously poisoned the world. Esau, the so-called white man, has poisoned this world in every single shape and form. Obviously, the scriptures say that we'll be known by proverbs and bywords. In this captivity, we'll lose who we are. We won't know who we are. Okay. And until that great awakening, which is happening. And in the 1600s, in the state of Virginia, the term black and the term white was invented. Okay. Now, I hate Israelites, so-called Israel. I mean, if you're going to just say so-called black, so-called white, that's cool, because you're trying to just let them know that that's not our real, that's not what we go by, but that is a term created by the so-called white man to hide who they are and also hide who we are, and also to hide the rest of the other nations, because there's 18 nations on the planet. The so-called white man is, first and foremost, the Israelites, the so-called blacks, who are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians of Negroid and Indian descent paternally. Okay, seed line, sperm line. Okay, are the biblical Israelites. All right, and that's the bulk. But then it's also Israelite foreigners like myself who are from that same lineage paternally, scattered to the four corners of the earth from various captivities. Jake going to war. When I say Jake, I'm talking about Jacob, brothers going to war, World War I, World War II, prior to that, in the ancient world also. Jake men having wives of other nations, Israelite foreigner wives that look different. And sometimes the children take on the mother's features, or it's a combination of both. The way you see one family, you might see sharp-looking Jake, you see beautiful-looking, she might look like an Edomite, but she might be like an Israelite foreigner, but she'd be a beautiful-looking thing, and they'll have children all different shades and colors, different hair textures, different eye colors. And as Israelites, we have that naturally anyway. And sometimes that also comes out with having wives of other nations or women of other nations. But you are whatever your father is. There's no such thing as mixed. There's no such thing as biracial. There's this channel I'm focused on here right now. It's called Biracial Voices. You can check it out yourself. And it's got an array of some beautiful, beautiful Israelite women, man. They haven't emphasized who their fathers are, but I'm focusing on this beautiful young lady here on screen. She's more than likely a Judite or a Gadite or a Reubenite, but I'm saying Judite, right? By the way she talks and the way she acts and the spirit that's on her, pursuant to Romans 8:16. The spirit beareth witness. And now by looking at her, as an Israelite foreigner myself, from northern India, the Punjab area. Now, mind you, there's many races in India. We are not all the same people. All right, like that motherfucker Kash Patel, he's a Gujarati. He's what you call a dot head. All right. Now, even in the UK, we don't roll together. All right. Punjab basically just means the land of the five rivers. All right, now that's in the borders of Persia or Iran, and that's where a lot of Jacob settled and had children. All right, and if you look at Bollywood, you look at all the beautiful women that are there. They mainly look like Northern Kingdom women. A bulk of them are actually Israelite women, as well as the frontline actors are from that part of India, Northern India. Right. Now, this young lady, when I looked at her, she looked exactly like a girl from Northern India. Or she looks Hispanic, or she looks native, or she looks Turkish, or she looks Moroccan. You know, she could pass for any brown nation, or even she looks Sicilian, but she's actually a Judite. Now, I'm assuming, okay, so she hasn't mentioned who, the situation, what her mother is. Her mother could be native, I don't know. But I don't think she is because I'm going to play the video. It's only about 50 seconds. You can check it out. Check out the channel yourself. But we are scattered to the four corners of the earth, and we pretty much look like everyone. All right. And that's another thing as well, where the Lord has made us covert and hidden us, okay, to throw off the tracks of the so called white man who is carnal by nature and will say, okay, because if we all looked one shade and one hair texture, they'll say, okay, yeah, those Israelites, they live in that part of the world or whatever, or this, you know, they'll say, okay, yeah, is all these Israelites live in these cities around the world. This is what they look like. Nuke them or whatever, or put, they're putting poison in the water, poison in the food anyway. They'll do further things to eliminate you. But also, Yahweh Hashem Shai has hidden us, okay? And also, uh, some of these women, whether they're here or in America, are probably going to be the elect men's wives as well. And the Lord has also, and she's obviously a woman of color. She's light skinned. She's very attractive. Well, she's attractive to me anyway. I likes her, you know. Long hair, attractive complexion, nice looking. You know what I mean? Nice smile. And I like her attitude as well. We're Israelite men. We're not momos. And Brakti Habashim Shai for that. We're real men. We like women. And so therefore, a lot of Jake men, the Lord has created women, Israelite women, you know, to be, I mean, when Isaiah 4 and 1 kicks in for a lot of the elect men in America. She's obviously in the States. When I play the video, you can check it out. And a lot of these women are going to be wives of the elect men. Some are going to be deleted. Some are going to be wives. And obviously the Lord has done this, created an array of beautiful different shades of brown and Israelite wives to be for the elect men, whoever they are, scattered to the four corners of the earth. There's that side as well. And there's also the parable between the wheat and the tares, because amongst this channel, I'm assuming it's called biracial voices, which is, I hate that term, biracial. Okay, no such thing as mixed. You are whatever your father is. Okay, you can't. You listen. The whole world is brown. Okay, all brown people are not the same race or the same people. Okay, so, and there's also the fact that you're going to have Edomite fathers, so-called white men, that have had children with black women, so-called black women, and other women of other nations. That those people call themselves biracial. Okay, now they may look brown, or however they come out, but they are still Edomites. Okay, if their father's an Edomite. Now this woman is obviously an Israelite, right? And that's how the Lord, because you're going to have Edomites looking like so-called Africans. You're going to have Edomites looking like, you're going to have Edomites looking like so-called East Indians. You're going to have Edomites looking like Arabs. You're going to have Edomites looking like Jake. You're going to have Israelites looking like everybody, even Chinese people. You're going to have Israelites looking like Japanese people. You're going to have Israelites looking like East Indians, stereotypical East Indians. You're going to have Israelites looking like exotic East Indians. You're going to have Israelites, with a Hispanic look, the original look, which is a so-called Negro look. It's listen, Yahweh Shemashah is a mastermind, man. The way he's just, that's the parable between the wheat and the tares as well, right? I'm going to play the video. I'm just going to just show you an image of wheat and tares, man. So, all right. Now, wheat and tares look similar, right? Very similar. Now, if you look at Tia and Tamara, that show, what's it called? Sister Sister from the 90s, right? Let's Google them. Let's Google them. 90s show Sister Sister, Tia and Tamara. I don't know their real name. What are their real names again? The real names, Tia Landry and oh, that's their show names, right? Whatever their names are. Now, their father, right? Here, this is when they're kids. They grew up to be somewhat, okay looking women or whatever. All right. But here they're being portrayed as Israelites. They're actually Edomites. Their father is an Amalekite, a small hatter. See, this is an example. They look like Israelites, but they're not. In the kingdom, they're going to be slaves, and they're going to have the original look back, which is pale skin, probably yellow hair too, right? See, that's an example. They look like Israelites, but they're not. They're heathens. All right? They're heathens. See? Wheat and tares look very similar. All right? Let's go a couple of scriptures. Numbers 1:18. Remember, you are whatever your father is. Okay, hence the reason why the woman takes on the husband's last name. Okay, a woman who is let's just say her name is Monica Campbell, right? And then she marries a Jake by the name of William McCoy, for example. She's going to take on her husband's name. She'll be Monica McCoy, right? And their children will have the surname McCoy. Why? Because the children are from the nutsack of her husband. She's an incubator. All right, so the children may take on some of her features, right? Okay, or they might take on collectively just her husband's features. Whatever how the scenario is, you are whatever your father is. Okay, skin tone does not determine ethnicity. All right, all this black, white, yellow, all this bullshit, right, is all made up. All right, the Israelites, okay, are the blacks, Hispanics, and natives, and those that are scattered, and those that are from that paternal lineage, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives, right? Then you've got the Elamites, the East Indians. You've got the Moabites, the Chinese. You've got the Japanese that are Ammonites. All right? I'm giving you the biblical names along with the worldly names that Esau has given them. You've got the Japhetic people that are known as Samoans today, or Australian Aborigines. Okay? All right? So within, there's 18 nations on the planet. All right? All this black, white, yellow, Oriental, okay, doesn't mean a thing. Oriental just means from the East. All right, because Israelites can say, yeah, we're Oriental. We are from the East, right? It's all made up shit, okay? Because remember, the so-called white man, this is their world which is falling right now. So obviously, they call the shots, they make the rules, right? And they say what it is out of their mouth, and people, people see it as law, stamped, engraved. All right, but when the truth comes out, oh, that ain't it, that's not the truth. But whatever the so-called white man says, Esau, that's law. All right, but the truth is coming out, and the truth of Yahweh Bashim Mashai is like pure water washing away the filth of this world, man. Okay, it's got Numbers 1:18. Okay, so you are whatever your father is. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls. Okay, where did the Israelites descend from? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. None of the women are mentioned. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they're all men. All right? So-and-so begot so-and-so. So-and-so begot so-and-so, as the scriptures say. Right? Why aren't the women mentioned? Because the women are important, but they're not important in terms of determining the ethnicity. You understand? Now you've got a lot of wig head Keishas and these fat, gross looking Oprah Winfrey lookalikes, right? You know, having a go at beautiful women like I just showed you in the little snapshot there. You know, they're just jealous. They say, "Oh, you're not black." Well, yeah, she's not. She isn't black. She's not void of light. Well, actually, only the Lord knows. But you know, in terms of yeah, she's not black. There's no such. You know, what the fuck is black? You could be high yellow. Are you black? Huh? You could be teased and tanned. Are you black? Nobody is black, man. No Jake is black. Jake's hair might be black, but the skin told me it will be a specific shade of brown, man. We come in an array of shades of brown, even to the point of like that rapper Charlie Baltimore from the 90s, if you remember her. You know, nice looking thing, light skinned, extremely light skinned, light and bright. I think that was a stage name, Charlie Baltimore. Whatever her name is, man, the rapper. Google it. Um, so you got a lot of, yeah, you're not black, you're not black. You know, man, listen, you know, if they're saying you're not black, that's actually a compliment. They're saying, oh, you're not void of light. You're not void of light. You're not void of light. You're not dark. You're not ugly. You're not evil. Okay? White means pure, clean, and all that. And Esau, the so-called white man, is not pure and clean. They're filthy. Their hands are covered in blood and filth, okay, of the Israelites and the destruction of this world. They're going to get paid back heavy. They're going to drink down, they're going to swallow them dregs, man. And the so-called white man is red like a pig, translucent like a pig where their blood shows forth. They know something is missing, hence the reason why their women use so much makeup and bronzer and spray tan. And when bodybuilders go on stage and athletes, they get tanned and shit. You know? What the crackers used to say back in the day, or you still say, oh, I've got to get a tan. Until I get a tan, I don't look healthy or feel right. Because they know, man, they're lacking something, right? And as mentioned, man, you know, through war and everything else, we're scattered to the four corners of the earth, all right? You're probably walking past Israelites every day, not knowing that they're Israelites, you know? As a so-called black man growing up in a Hispanic area, right? You probably thought that, oh, man, these aren't my people. Actually, they are your people. It's just a cultural divide. It's like a Jamaican is going to be more connected to Jamaicans or Benjaminites. Why? The patois, the lingo, the food, the rice and peas, the jerk chicken, all that. You know what I mean? It's like it's like a cultural thing. You know, those terms, those household terms that come from yard, as Jake would say, Benjaminite Jake. You know, they'll be understood. It's like, you know, it's like here in the UK, Nigerian Jakes that are Judah, or Ghanaian Jakes that are that are Judites, will connect more. Like an Idris Elba will connect more to Jakes that are from West Africa. You know, because of the you know the foods, the terms, the lingo, the language. You know how, you know, talking about, you know, where their parents are from, which part of West Africa, and what, you know how it is, right? And then American Judite Jakes would connect more with American Judite Jakes. Like Cassius Clay said once in one of his interviews, he goes, I would never marry a so-called white woman, and I'd only marry a so-called black woman from America because she can only understand how I talk, and the food I like. You know, she understands how I grew up and what my people went through. He goes, she's the only one that, you know, that can understand that. He goes, there's a lot of beautiful so-called women of color around the world, but I would only and black, and he said so-called black women as well. You know, but he goes, you know, see, that's an example there of a Judite connecting to Judites. It's a cultural thing, but we are the same people. But in the kingdom, we're going to be under the banner of Yahweh Shem Shai, speaking Hebrew, man, the Lashwan Kodash. So all this will be eliminated. You could be walking around through an Italian neighborhood, man. Bunch of Southern Italians there, man, acting like Jake, acting like ninjas, but they're just in a different package, man. Some of them are dark, some of them are light. Some of them have that kinky hair with them wide nose and them big lips, but they say, oh, and they swear that they're white though. You know, but that's that hate, man. Deuteronomy 28 verse 54. That's why Italians go hard with the racism, man. Get out, neighborhood nigger. You know, if you watch Jungle Fever, and they did that on purpose, man. That movie Jungle Fever. You know, trying to create violence between the Italians and so-called black people, man, knowing that they're the same people. even though things, scuffles have happened, but those are the curses. Deuteronomy 20 verse 54: I shall be evil towards his brother. Salakia for digressing. Now I was talking about the scattering. Deuteronomy 20 verse 64: And the Lord Yahweh Shemashah shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. A lot of Jake into that wacky tacky Christianity, wooden crosses, and going to worshiping Islam, all that bullshit, kissing the Kaaba, that big pussy in Mecca. Let's go to the parable between the wheat and the tares. Now I'm going to see which part I want to read. Matthew 13. Okay. Matthew 24 to 30. Let's read it. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went his way. Verse 26. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then hath it tares? Excuse me. Verse 28. He said unto them, An enemy hath done this. The servant said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? Verse 29. But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Verse 30. Let both grow together until the harvest, and the harvest is coming. When Yahushua returns, that's that harvest, man. The Lord's going to take his elect up, the 1/3, and the 144,000 are part of that 1/3. The other 2/3, pursuant to the book of Zechariah 13:8 and 13:9, 1/3 will be saved, 2/3 will be cut off, right? And the other 2/3, right, will be deleted and reborn back in the kingdom, coming through the loins of the elect men. All right? Let both grow together until the harvest, and in the time of the harvest I will say to the reapers, Gather ye together first the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. And the wheat are the Israelites. Let's see if there's anything else I want to add. All right, let's play that vid now. Where is she? Oh, here we go. Let's play this vid.
I love being mixed. You even be confusing other ethnicities. You know what I'm saying? You got the Caucasians who are like, what are you? But then you got the Hispanics. Who always think that you can speak Spanish. You walk by and they're like, hola, do you know Spanish? And I'm like, girl, I took 3 years of high school, but I don't know much besides hola, como estás, también, maybe, I don't know if that's a word, como te amo,
Romans 8:16. She's definitely Jake. A real nice looking one too.
Baño, demasiado, that's all I know. But then they'd be thinking that you can speak all sorts of Spanish. And I swear to you, even when you work in a place and the Hispanics come in there, they always come straight to me. Why is it me? What? Do I look Hispanic?
Yeah.
You be confused with all the ethnicities out here. Don't play with me.
Oops. Go back. I don't want another video to play. Go back. What the hell's going on here now? Whoops. Let's go back there again.
Why I love being mixed. You even be confusing other ethnicities. You know what I'm saying? You got the Caucasians who are like, what are you?
Same fucking Salakia. Just went to the next video on YouTube.
Why I love being mixed. You even be confusing other ethnicities. You know what I'm saying? You got the Caucasians who are like, what are you? But then you got the Hispanics who always think that you can speak Spanish. You walk by and they're like, hola, do you know Spanish? And I'm like, girl, I took 3 years of high school, but I don't know much besides hola, como estás, también, maybe, I don't know if that's a word, como te amo, Puedo baño demasiado. That's all I know. But then they'd be thinking that you can speak all sorts of Spanish. And I swear to you, even when you work in a place and the Hispanics come in there, they always come straight to me. Why is it me? What?
Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. All praise to you. How about Shalom.